Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have a another Chaos versus Greenskin matchup. Um, they changed their armies and readied up, and me and Jack um, did not. We essentially didn't change our armies. So if you watched my previous Goblin video, you know that I just have my typical Goblin army with the Ragnar Queen, and then Jack over here has a Chaos Knight Archaon build with Marauders as a main line. Um, You can see my Dirkit Squigs over here in this little forest again. This time they decided to deploy on our side. They have far more Minotaurs this time. You can see a lot more Minotaurs with shields. There's no Gobbo, which I think is a good choice against the Greenskins. These guys can kind of counter a lot more and put a lot more damage down. But you can see he's got some regular Minotaurs here and some Minotaurs with shields. Huge main line of Gore Herd and then just a ton of War Dancers with Azrai Spears for the anti-large here. So trying to mix that Beastmen anti-infantry with the Wood Elf anti-large, and you can see he does have a number of Way Watchers as well. He has the Winterheart Guard here in the back escorting Morgur, which is a weird thing to see, with some Minotaurs as backup. Over here you can see some Corngors in the forest with some Bolgors, and oh, I guess they do have a Gorbel. Escorting these Bolgors, so a huge anti-large contingent over here. And I think that's it. You can see Jack does have some Warhounds over there. So we're going to get going. I pulled back again. This is a good strategy on this map when one team pushes one side. Pull half your army back, pull the other in, and then now you have a kind of concave line here that can, and even if I have archers over here, I can kind of shoot and support Jack's main line. You can see over here my Death Creepers just trying to survive. A nice hit there on the Winterheart Guard from that Hell Cannon. I believe he is manually firing it, which makes it a lot more accurate. And you can see these Death Creepers just literally just being annoying. You can see over here I do have my 8 Peaks Loonies in the forest to kind of hold down whatever comes my way. And over here, what's this going to be? Another Flame Skull. Not doing too much damage, but singeing those War Dancers a little bit. Definitely like it. And then you can see here, these Marauders do get charged. Little bit of mismicroing there. So they're going to tank for my Goblins, which I guess is not the worst thing in the world. You can see over here, these Marauders. These War Dancers with Azure Spears are not going to trade super cost effectively against these guys. But you can see I'm just going to decide to commit my Dirkit Squigs anyways to this fight to just help support it. And so there's a lot going on over here, but you can see I committed a lot of my stuff I don't care about over here in this fight. I brought my Warlord's Boys over here to Armor Sunder for my 8 Peaks Loonies. Then I'm hoping that this can just hold because they have a lot more money over here than I do. So I'm just going to pull my General over here and use him to kind of keep the leadership up and then buff these guys without committing him, because I know if I commit him in there, the Gorbles will just kind of tear him apart. So I'm just going to kind of keep him over there, use my Goblin Big Bosses for leadership over here, and then I'm going to be using my Queen over here to target these War Dancers, because I don't want her going up against these Minotaurs. I don't want her to go up against these War Dancers, but these War Dancers as their spears, but these guys are anti-infantry, and so they won't be able to do almost anything against the 150 armor of the Ragnarok Queen. You can see I always forget these Forest Goblin Spider Riders in the back. It's because they're stocked, and they're invisible to me too. Which is not true at all. So over here you can see I am targeting these Minotaur shields. Not the best target, but it'll have to do. And you can see over here these Rusty Airs are targeting these guys. So sundering all the armor over here, which is good for me. And you can see these Minotaurs though do get in here against the Ragnarok Queen. She should be able to win that because they are not the anti-large version. You can see over here Night Goblin will rust a little bit off center. But I am casting Sneaky Stab in there on my Warlord's Boys, which is going to be a nice damage buff. Help them get through the armor of the Corngors. So here you can see it's just a big old blob with Archaon in the middle, Goblin supporting fire, Hell Cannon shooting in. It's just a big mess. You can see these War Dancers do get through. I think I'm going to pull these Forest Goblin Spider Riders in here, and you can see these War Dancers get through, but I'm just going to give a nice rear charge here. With my Death Creepers, get a rear front charge in with these Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and then use my Night Goblin Shaman to get in here as well. And that's just going to be a lot of damage being put down. Over here you can see my Dirkit Squigs lost this fight, but they did kind of help it hold for a little bit longer. I don't really know why Woven Mist was activated here. That's just going to make those Marauders have a little bit extra damage, because Woven Mist, I guess in this game, only adds missile resistance, and then it just decreases the melee defense, so it makes them much easier to hit. So you can see here in the middle, it's going pretty well. Hell Cannon firing in, making sure this stuff stays away. You can see, I guess I'm just sacrificing my archers here. They have no chance of even damaging these guys. You can see over here, I did bring my Night Goblin Warboss in a little bit closer, and this is just a huge, atrocious fight over here. Jack did bring these Chaos Knights with Lances in, but in the forest, they will have minus 80% melee attack, so again, not going to be the most cost-effective, but they're sticking around because I got my General right there. You can see some of my Goblins chased a little bit too much. I've got a nice firing line on the back of these War Dancers because they pulled out, they stopped chasing, they went after Archaon. So it's going to give me a nice chance to kind of shoot them in the back. This is the perfect time when you want to pop that Woven Resistance or whatever. Woven Mists. And here you can see getting a nice rear charge on these Winter Heart Guard who are unbreakable. And you can see my Ragnarok Queen almost untouched there. You can see these goblins still swarmed around this kind of core of War Dancers, but they're slowly dying. There's just kind of too much here. You can see, of course, just constantly casting Itchy Nuisance on this expensive blob over here just to try and make my goblins last a little bit longer. And you can see, again, those melee defense increases, melee attack increases, and melee attack decreases of the enemy. This is going to make that fight much better for me. You can see, luckily, I still have a lot of my firing line. You can see they're firing into the back of these War Dancers. They're not going to like this at all. But you can see, yeah, these Chaos Spawn are definitely the best target. They are out of control, chasing some Chaos Marauders. You can see this side did win pretty decisively, actually. Lots of stuff getting ready to come back. But really, they don't have much left that can deal with this Ragnarok Queen. And they don't have much left that can deal with Archaon, because he is a beast in this mod. You can see my firing line is kind of just teeing off on these Chaos Spawn. Still dealing with those War Dancers over here. And then in the forest, you can see we're just slowly winning. Giving my guys all the buffs I can. Yeah, and I still have my potion and everything on the Night Goblin. So it's looking pretty good here. You can see my Ragnarok Queen's going to countercharge these Chaos Spawn. Just send them flying. Oh man, just so cool. There's probably nothing more terrifying than some Chaos Knights running with a Ragnarok Queen. It's a lot of anti-large. Yeah, you can see these guys going down. I feel like Mortar in the lore always dies to arrows. Probably talked about this before. But he has a pretty mean missile resistance in this game. I wonder what it is. Ooh. Ragnarok Queen is just going to come in here and butt him around. Yeah, it's just going to be army losses at this point as a lot of the Beastmen flee. And there goes Mortar. So we'll take a look here. Really nothing got very many kills for me. Doom Diver Catapult getting 104. Really kind of the most kills. But with Wood Elves, that's kind of what you expect just because they have such low unit models. You can see here the Hell Soul of Damnation doing very good. Chaos Knights with Lances as well. Let me look over here. Yeah, you can see those Corn Gores getting a ton of kills against goblins. One of these Minotaurs doing really well, and the Bull Gore is doing okay. But yeah, you can see some of these War Dancers just got shut down, and some of them thrived. But these War Dancers, just making sure to get the right counters there was kind of the key to this one. And yeah, anyways, great game to Prattman and Weston Sammy. And of course, good game to Jack. Always a pleasure. And anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. That's that.